All right, so we're diving into AI and SEO today, but not the usual, you know, buzzword you see everywhere.
Right.
Like you sent over some info on this company, Brew,
Yeah.
and it really caught my attention.
Interesting.
They're calling themselves a search engine testing platform,
Hmm.
which already has me intrigued. And since you've got a meeting with them coming up, I know you're going to want all the insider info,
Yeah, it is refreshing to see a company looking past the hype.
right?
You're right. Search engine testing platform is a bold claim.
Yeah,
Most SEO software just analyzes existing data to tell you what's working now.
right,
Market Brew is different.
right.
They've got a team of actual search engineers who've built something pretty unique, a system that simulates how search engines themselves work.
Really?
Yeah.
So not just looking at the data, but almost like
Almost like having a...
predicting the future.
Yeah, like a crystal ball almost.
And get this, they're claiming AI-powered SEO solutions with predictive insights. Predictive insights.
Bro.
Not just analyzing the past, but actually seeing the future of search. I even pulled this quote from their site. We empower SEO teams to optimize and grow their rankings with precision.
Okay.
That's where I got skeptical. Precision in SEO. That almost feels like a contradiction in terms, doesn't it?
It does sound almost too good to be true, I'll admit. But the tech behind it is fascinating.
Yeah.
Market Brew's model doesn't just crunch numbers. It tries to think like Google's algorithms before they even update.
So how does that even work? I mean, they talk about their model being able to calibrate itself to mimic any search engine out there. Here's the quote. Engineered to be able to calibrate itself to behave like any search engine in the world. Its search engine models mimicked the algorithms and ranking factors of any search engine.
Wow.
It's like they built a digital crystal ball for SEO or something.
That's actually a pretty good analogy. Think of it like a flight simulator.
Okay.
But instead of teaching you to fly a plane, it teaches you how Google thinks.
Oh.
Market Brew replicates the core elements of a search engine algorithm's ranking factors. So you're essentially peeking behind the curtain to see what makes them tick.
So instead of just reacting to the latest Google update, you could potentially see it coming months in advance.
Potentially, yeah.
That's kind of a game changer when you think about it. I mean, imagine being able to tell your clients, don't worry, we already optimized for that 6 months ago.
Right.
That's incredible.
And it's not just about staying one step ahead. Imagine the wasted effort you could avoid.
Well, yeah.
No more scrambling to fix what broke after an update. No more investing in strategies that are about to be obsolete.
Right. Talk about precision. But how do they back up a claim like that? Predicting rankings months in advance.
Well, they have a section on their site called What Leaders Think About Market Brew.
Okay.
One testimonial claims they jumped 80 spots in the rankings in just 3 weeks.
That's wild. Okay, so they definitely got my attention. But before we get too carried away with Market Brew specifically, I want to zoom out for a second. Okay. They have this whole section on their site about what makes the best SEO software, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
On the one hand, they're selling their own software, but they're also laying out the general landscape of SEO tools.
Right?
It's like they're saying, here's what everyone else is doing, but we've got something better.
It's a classic move. Establish your expertise while subtly highlighting what makes you unique.
Right.
But you're right, there are some interesting things they point out.
Yeah.
They talk about features like keyword research, on-page optimization, backlink analysis, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But remember, they're framing it through the lens of their own approach.
Right. So it's not just about offering those features, it's about how they deliver them.
Exactly.
What stood out to me was how much they emphasized data-driven decisions.
Okay.
That clearly ties back to their whole predictive insights thing, right?
Absolutely. They're not just throwing darts in the dark. Even when it comes to basic SEO tasks, they're using their calibrated algorithms, as they call them, to inform every decision. They're basically saying, we don't just analyze data, we understand what it means for the future.
Okay, so let's say you're using their keyword research tool. You're not just getting a list of popular terms. You're getting insights into how those keywords are likely to perform based on their simulated algorithm. That's huge.
Yeah.
But they also get into competitor research, and this is where it gets really interesting. I have this quote that I have to read to you because it kind of blew my mind. One of the major fallacies of most SEO software today is that the highest ranking site is the site that is ranking the highest in every search engine algorithm. This couldn't be further from the truth. What's that all about?
They're challenging a common assumption that there's one right way to rank.
Okay.
In reality, different algorithms prioritize different things.
Yeah.
And that's where Market Brew's approach to competitor analysis comes in.
So it's not just about seeing who's in first place overall.
Right.
It's about understanding why they're ranking for specific keywords in specific search results.
Exactly. It's about breaking down your competitor strategies on a granular level. Market Brew is giving you the tools to say, okay, this competitor is crushing it for this keyword because they've nailed these specific ranking factors. And then theoretically, you can use that information to replicate their success.
It's like getting a glimpse into your competitors' playbooks. They even mention going beyond superficial metrics like backlinks and keywords to really understanding things like link equity and the true link graph. Can you break those down for me?
Of course. Think of link equity as a measure of how valuable a backlink is.
Okay.
It's not just about how many links you have, it's about the quality and relevance of those links. The true link graph takes this a step further.
Okay.
It's about understanding the entire network of links pointing to a website and how that network influences its authority in the eyes of search engines.
So it's about seeing the bigger picture, the web of connections that traditional SEO tools might miss.
Precisely. It's about understanding the nuances and complexities of how search engines actually work.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is where Market Brew's real potential lies.
You know, when we started talking about this, I have to admit I was a little skeptical this AI, that
Yeah.
it's easy to get lost in all the hype.
Right.
But what we've uncovered about Market Brew's approach to SEO is genuinely different.
Yeah.
It's not about, gaming the system with the latest tricks. It's about understanding the fundamental principles of how search works, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And this idea of a true link graph is a great example.
Right.
Market Brew seems to be acknowledging that Google's algorithms are becoming incredibly sophisticated, almost like they're starting to think like real people evaluating websites.
Which makes sense, right? I mean, at the end of the day, Google wants to serve up the most relevant and trustworthy results to its users.
Yep.
So if you're using, shady tactics to boost your rankings sooner or later, Google's algorithms are going to catch up with you.
Yeah, and that's why this whole conversation has me thinking.
Yeah.
Is SEO becoming less about manipulating keywords and more about truly understanding user intent?
Right.
Because if you can create content that genuinely answers people's questions and solves their problems, the rankings should naturally follow.
It's like that saying, content is king, but understanding your audience is the kingdom.
Right.
We've been hearing it for years.
For years.
But it feels like Market Brew is actually building the tools to make that a reality.
I think so.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
Yeah, it has.
You've given me a lot to think about, especially with my meeting with Market Brew coming up. I've got to say, I'm walking in feeling a lot more informed and a lot less skeptical than when we started.
I'm glad to hear that. It's always fun to dive into these topics.
Yeah.
Remember, the world of SEO is constantly evolving. The key is to stay curious, stay informed, and always be willing to adapt.
Great advice as always. Thanks for this.
Anytime.